Hello. Today I'm going to do some fussy cutting. I've had somebody who asked me to do a video on how I fussy cut. So this is how I do it. For some reason I like to use the biggest scissors I have. I do have smaller ones. Sometimes I'll use those, it depends. But most of the time I just use this. These are, if you watched my last video, then I did a video on recycling gift bags and how to use the different parts of the gift bag, even when, like this gift bag, it's all torn up. So you can still salvage pieces from it. So I figured I'd show you how I fussy cut. And all I do is just hold the scissors and then I move the paper, the image around while I'm closing the scissors on the image. And I like to leave a real thin border around. Because you can always go and trim off more if you need to, but you can't add it back on. So my 14-year-old grandson has gotten his second COVID shot, and he's a little sore. I gave him 2 Tylenol, and that seemed to help him. So thank goodness, the poor guy. All right, so there you go. The little chicken is cut out. So now I'm going to do the pig. And sometimes when I'm cutting images out and doing fussy cutting, then I'll save like the squiggly part of the tail. I won't cut out the middle part just yet until I'm ready to use it, because I don't want it to tear apart in the meantime while I'm storing it, because that's happened to me a couple times from moving it around inside the containers that I keep it in. There's always some delicate little pieces that I don't want to have fall off, especially around, like, well, for a little squiggly tail or some arms maybe, or some in between flowers and leaves. You want to be careful with that type of stuff, because if you're not going to use the images right away, then you want to protect those portions so they don't get torn off or ruined in some way. So this is all I do for fussy cutting, and just go kind of slow. And I think the reason why I like using these big scissors is because they're comfortable for me. So you've got to, I would definitely suggest to find the scissors that are most comfortable for you to hold and to use. These are Fisker scissors, and they open by themselves, and they are a little heavy, so that's why I'm resting my arm down on the table as I'm cutting. But the heaviness of them also helps me to balance them the way that I need to use them in my hand. And as you can see, I do move the scissors a wee bit, but most of the time I'm just maneuvering the paper around. And sometimes if I go a little too fast, then I have to kind of go back and reconnect again. I find this I don't know, kind of like tearing paper. I seem to enjoy the fussy cutting because it's relaxing. Plus, at first you just see this big picture, and then while you're fussy cutting, it starts really popping the details out. And I really like that. See, now like for instance this long tail, I'm going to do the outer portion of it, but I'm not going to go inside near the body because I don't want it to tear off right now. So I'm just kind of go a little bit close, and then I'll finish doing the other part later. That part. Alrighty, let's see, let's do this one. And then of course, because I like to recycle and reuse as much as I can, then these little bits and pieces that I'm cutting off, well, since they're plastic coated, I can't make them into more paper. That's what I do with my little mini scraps, is I keep a bin so that when it's filled up, I'm going to make some homemade paper and recycle the little bits and pieces. But this is coated with plastic, so I can't do that. But I can certainly use my punches. And for this green background, I'll probably end up cutting out my normals for green paper. Or I've got leaf punches, and I've got a lizard and a turtle punch. So anything that's normally green, maybe some green apples. And I just think in terms of the color of the paper and what objects are that color. Or if I'm going to use it for, if I'm making holiday cards, then I can use the colors for that. So there's a sheep, there's a cow, there's a chicken, and there's a pig. They look kind of cute. All right. Oh. Big old horse. And I think I'll do this one with the smaller scissors. The smaller scissors I do like also because they're not as heavy. Whoops, and see, now I'm talking and not paying attention, so I'm going to cut this tail right out. But that's okay. They're not as heavy, of course, so I can use them longer. But I can get in a lot closer with these than the big ones, of course. But it does take a little bit more time because I'm not cutting as in big swipes like I can with the bigger scissors. So, but I like to keep both out just in case. But I think it's definitely all in preference. You've got to find the scissors that suit you best when you're cutting out images, because it does take a while. So, but my hand does get tired of actually squeezing the scissors, even though there is an actual release on these, because again, these are Fiskars. So I only have to squeeze one way, so I don't have to be pulling them back open again, which is very helpful because my arms get very sore very quickly. So I've got to watch and pay attention how many items I'm cutting out here and what my arms are feeling like, and my arms are already starting to bother me. Today's not a good day, but that's okay. I'll get a couple of them done for this video, and I can post this so that the couple people that did ask me about fussy cutting, then they'll be able to see. And there are definitely other videos out there that do pretty much the same thing I'm doing now. I guess we've all, through trial and error, kind of learned. But it's not something that you know right away. It's definitely not something that's taught in grammar school. And we all learn to cut when we're going to school, I suppose, but not in this way. There. All right. Now another thing I wanted to show you too, and actually I will show you with the cow's tail. You can, if you have an X-Acto knife, you can certainly come in, and that's real quick and easy to just go in there with the X-Acto knife and cut that out. Especially if the tail is connected to the body here, which it's not. But another thing that I found is I like to go in with a hole punch. And if you've got like an arm that wraps around and the hand right on the waist, and there's no way to get in the middle, then I like to do a hole punch like that. And then I start there. And then I'll just go in and start cutting this way, because that way it's easier to get in. And that's what these little scissors are really good for. So see, if this was a closed arm or leg or something where you couldn't get into the middle like that, then you can do it that way. So that way you still have the hole cut out without having to worry about it. Another thing you can do is you can slide your scissors and just follow the line. So if you didn't want to do that, or you don't have a hole punch, sometimes the hole punch is too big. I do have a couple different sizes of hole punches, but if you only have the one regular size hole punch and the hole that would be too big, then you can always just kind of follow along the side of the image and cut it out. And then when you use your image, then you can just glue it down and nobody will ever know, because it'll connect right together again. So there's a couple more tips for you. All right, so I guess that's pretty much it. I'm not going to sit here and do the whole stack, but I did want to get on and do this video for those requesting it. So I hope that answers your questions. If you have any more questions about it, please leave me a message. Send me a note, and I will definitely get back to you or make another video. So if you like this video, please give me a like. The likes on YouTube definitely help. And until we meet again, happy crafting. Bye-bye.